I call this meeting of the Siloam Springs Board of Adjustment to order. Roll call, please.
Psalm,
Here.
Montgomery, Sally,
Here.
Here.
Smith,
Here.
Bernard,
Here.
Williams.
Here.
You've all, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almost jumped the gun there. You've all received the minutes from the regular Board of Adjustment meeting on February the 8th. Are there any corrections? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the June 14th meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. I believe that's the February 8th.
Oh,
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. First item on today's Board of Adjustment agenda is a variance request. Mr. Rhodes?
Yes, greetings, Mr. Chairman, Ben Rhodes, Senior Planner. So what you're looking at is a standard setback variance request for Woodcreek properties. This is at the 900 block of East Harvard Street. And the request is to allow a structure to be built over the setbacks. It's the front and rear setback within the I-1 zone, as you see in the map here. Between north side of Harvard Street, between HICO and the KCS railroad lines. And so here is the site plan that was provided by the applicant. So drawn on here, you see in the dashed color here, and I will highlight that further. Those are the actual setbacks per the zoning. And then the hatched drawing on there is the requested building. So here we have a building encroachment along the front that would be 25 feet into that front 50-foot setback, and then also an encroachment in the rear here, which would be about a 5-foot setback, encroaching into the rear by 5 feet. In addition to this, there's also a lot consolidation permit that's being reviewed by staff. And I believe we'll be going to the board in August to consolidate these two old lots together into a larger lot, the lot 8R. So as you know, with any variance request, that there has to be a statement of hardship. Is basically kind of the roadmap, if you will, to what would account for a valid request for a variance. So what the applicant's arguing is that it is a small area, makes the lot essentially unusual for setbacks, which will essentially make it difficult to put a standard type construction for warehousing and whatnot in the I-1 zone. The lot dates back to 1909. It's in the subdivision called Pittman's. And the zoning has been in place there, I believe, since 1983, although I believe it actually might even predate that. So it's been a condition where essentially the issue or the hardship was created when zoning was applied to that old lot, the 1909 lot. The I-1 zones are just not set up for smaller lots like these, because you have the bigger setbacks, really creates a smaller building envelope. And as you know, for industrial type buildings, you really need to have a larger building envelope to make highest and best use of that property. Another factor here, well, let me just show this here. The applicant, I believe it was in 2006, I included that staff report, did get permission to build the structure right next door, which will have similar setbacks to what they're proposing on the lot here, which you're showing as subject property on that location. Some other things of note, just thinking about the setback, because that's really what you're looking at, is just the setbacks, not the land use, if it's appropriate to have an industrial building, because that's already been settled through the zoning. You know, you're talking about a building that would pretty much line up right around in here. You got another house here that's far closer to the street. And you got this is a separate lot that separates these two. You got lots of wooded break here and some trees along this side. I just don't see any particular impact that would create a hardship on neighbors or other people in the area. So with that, staff does confirm that there is a legitimate hardship in this case, and we are available for your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address this issue? Okay, commissioners, do you have questions of Ben? Or
Ben, what's the parking situation when they build like that? If that's not consolidated, I mean, is there room for vehicle parking, or are they going to end up on the street, or?
That's a good question. You know, first off, we really haven't received the building permit for this yet. This is just a conceptual site plan. But, you know, with the understanding this would be the footprint, because that would be tied to the variance request. But, yeah, you could, it wouldn't be on-street parking. I mean, you would have either parking out in front like this or along the side. Keep in mind that he is also requesting to take out the center lot line. So this entire property will be in play for the development, and they're using primarily just the right side of the property. So I don't think that there will be an issue with parking or anything like that. Another thing to keep in mind is for industrial, parking is one space for every 1,200 square feet. So retail would be one for every 200. So there's a much lesser parking requirement for something like a warehouse than like a standard retail store or something like that. So.
Okay. Any other questions? Comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve let's see, setback variance BOA 2201 with staff conditions.
Have a motion to approve BOA 22-01 with the recommended conditions. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Sally,
Yes.
Yes.
Bernard,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Song.
Yes.
Motion is approved. Thank you very much. Now we will, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the Board of Adjustment. I have a motion to adjourn the Board of Adjustments. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Board of Adjustments is adjourned. Okay. I now call to order the City of Siloam Springs Planning Commission. Roll call.
Song,
Here.
Montgomery, Sally,
Here.
McKinney,
Here.
Smith,
Here.
Bernard,
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. You've all been sent minutes from the June 14th regular meeting. Are there any changes or corrections? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the June 14th minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. First item on today's Planning Commission is a rezoning development permit, RZ 22-06. Mr. Rhodes.
Yes, thank you again, Mr. Chairman. Ben Rhodes, Senior Planner. So you are looking at a rezoning development permit. I'm also including on here as informational item just a final plat that's occurring on the same property. We're at the 24 to 2600 block of East Kenwood Street. And the request is to go from the R3 zoning to R2 Foxtail Edition. This is going to be taken to the board on August 2nd. That would coincide with the approval of the final plat that I just mentioned. Also, you might recall, I believe it was earlier this year that they went through the rezoning process for the first phase. That's what you see here shown as R2. This entire piece was at one time all R3. They rezoned the first phase to R2, but leaving the second phase as is until the time that they were ready to final plat that and then come back with the rezoning for the second phase. So that's what we're looking at right now. That phase is the area here that's not hatched, and it's kind of hard to read on here, but that's basically this, roughly this area like that, which would encompass the second phase of that subdivision. And here, this is kind of rather interesting point of time to be looking at the future land use map because as you know, the next item on your agenda is the approval of the new comprehensive plan, the 2040 plan. So what I'm doing, and I did this in the staff report too, is I include both just so you can know. Technically, this one is what's in effect, but as you know, we are changing courses, hopefully, with the new land use map. So you'll see that one as well. But here, what we're looking at is mixed use with industrial on the bottom, residential at the top. As I stated, with the rezoning of phase 1, we felt that an exception should be made in this case that really came into play with platting the subdivision originally as a preliminary plat. That was following the zoning at the time, which was the R3 residential. So therefore, the future land use map just didn't really come into play with that because it was already zoned residential. What they're doing is they're just going down 1 degree from 2-family housing to single family is really what the request is for you. The new map, there's no problem at all, no conflict. It's all considered neighborhood 1s, which I know this is all a new categories for you, but neighborhood 1s are basically your standard single family residential. That's not the large lot rural, but the smaller, slightly smaller, more suburban styled lots, which would fit perfectly with the R2 zoning, which they're requesting. Here is the property. As you can see, the area under consideration is what's not being paved. So the areas, that's sort of the rough cut in roads as you go through there. That's the area that's considered the subject property. Phase 1 is being to the left side. That was already zoned R2 earlier this year. So with that, we are recommending approval, and we are available for any of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Is there anyone from the audience who would like to address this issue? Okay, commissioners, your turn. Well, that being the case, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve RZ 22-06.
I have a motion to approve rezoning development permit RZ 22-06. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Sally,
Yes.
Kenny? Yes. Smith?
Yes.
Bernard?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Song?
Yes.
Motion is approved. This will go to the Board of Adjustments on August the 2nd. Next item on the agenda is the 2040 Comprehensive Plan for approval. Ben?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And just for clarification, that's Board of Directors for August 2nd. So
What did I, whoops,
he said Board of Adjustments. No
I
problem.
got from the record, please.
Yes, Board of Directors on August 2nd for rezoning. So I'm very pleased to present to you. This has been a long time coming, and those of you that are on CPAC, that are actually sitting on the Planning Commission, which many of you happen to sit on both boards, will be have been looking forward to this day for a very long time. But yeah, I'm pleased to present to you basically the culmination of 18-month-long process of crafting the city's proposed comprehensive plan, which is called Our Vision, Our Future. And this plan is going out to 2040, and it replaces the current 2008 plan called Forward Siloam Springs, which, as you can imagine, being over 10 years old, has become slightly outdated and just needs a refresh with this new comp plan. So within your memo, there was a URL link included which should have led you to the final plan document that's for your consideration this evening. It being really too large to just copy in with the planning packet. So hopefully you guys saw that link and were able to get to the document that way. Just really briefly, many of you have been involved in the process, so I'm not going to go in huge amount of depth about everything, how this all came together. But basically, this started back in 2021 and ended in the early spring this year. CPAC, which is the Comprehensive Plan Advisory Committee, took an active role in overseeing the plan's development in each of the key focus areas that you see listed on the slide. The plan is broken out into 4 sections, which is the foundation, the vision, the plan itself, and then its strategy. The visioning process began first, and that set basically the overall tone for the plan. And this was done in a series of public meetings where the consultant team basically took the comments from those meetings to guide the plan's recommendations. In addition to the 118 recommendations, the plan presents a new future land use map, which you saw the debut of in the meeting just now for the last rezoning request. And this will replace the current map that's currently used for all rezoning applications and annexations. We will use it for both. Anytime we need to determine new zoning, we will look at that land use map. So this is new, so if there happens to be a conflict with the requested zone and the guidance of the future land use plan, staff will also present a plan amendment along with the rezoning request for your consideration. So the plan will be kept fresh and up to date as the community continues to expand and evolve. You really just can't know 100% what every property will do until it gets developed, and different things, conditions can change needs in areas. So, we do anticipate there to be plan amendments, but we will be updating that document, so it's not going to be kept frozen in time to this particular moment. We did receive 2 comments since the joint workshop that was held with you and the City Board of Directors on June 7th. These included adding page numbers to the implementation matrix and also a slight update to the future land use map that was highlighted in your memo. Staff is supportive of the plan, and we recommend approval of the document, and we are available for any of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. As always, is there anyone in the audience that would like to address this issue? Board members? Great. I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Siloam Springs 2040 Comprehensive Plan.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the Siloam Springs 2040 Comprehensive Plan. Roll call, please.
McKinney,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bernard,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Song,
Yes.
Sally.
Yes.
plan is approved, and this will go to the Board of Directors on July the 19th. Okay, now you have before you on your agenda the board approved comments, or board approved permits, and the staff approved permits. Are there any questions on those permits? With all of those questions, I need to remind you that the August Planning and Zoning meeting is canceled. We will next meet in September, and with that being said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Can I say something before
Yes,
we
sir.
make a motion? I should have said this before. I just wanted to thank Dawn with Freese and Nichols. They did an awesome job. She helped with the 2040 plan. And Mary and Sarah are here also, who are with the CPAC, and they did an awesome job. You know, there were a bunch of citizens in Siloam who came in together, and I don't think I'll speak for myself, I didn't know what I was doing, but Dawn did a great job, you know, coaching us and showing us and helping us, and so thank you to all you guys who helped, and it was great. Thank you. That's it. Sorry.
That's great.
That's
Thank
all
you.
right. Are there any other comments for the record?
Sorry.
That's okay. That's the place for it. Now, did I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 We are adjourned.